All right, excellent. Thank you all for being here. I'm Ashley Harwood. I'm your host. I am the founder of Move Over Extroverts and the group Introverts in Real Estate. And I'm excited for this. So, in today's session, we're going to talk about the gap and the gain a little bit. We're also going to go deep into expired letters, expired mailers. That's something I've been personally doing for a few months and having some success with. So, I wanted to share that with you all. And we'll do a little brainstorming around that as well. So, thank you for being here. We will meet every week, every Thursday at 1 o'clock Eastern for a half hour. We'll talk about different topics. Sometimes we'll have guest speakers. And then in about a month from now, we are going to shift gears and switch over to book club and go through a chapter a week of my new book. But we'll get to that later. So, first and foremost, there are 19 of us on the call right now as we speak. I would love to hear from three of you. If you want to one at a time come off mute and tell me something that's going well, either in your life or your business. Let's share a few wins. And then at the same time, go ahead and put, if everyone wants to just pop in the chat, where you're located so we can get a sense of who else here. So, hi everyone, welcome. So who wants to go first? What is something good? What's going well? What are we celebrating? Just one brave soul, hop off mute
I
and
got some.
hi, yes.
Hey, this is Patrick. Aloha. It's my camera's off because it's 7 a.m. I'm in Hawaii right now, but
Oh my gosh.
I made the call, so here we are.
I am so honored that you got up so early. Thank you.
Yeah. So it's funny that you said you've been waiting 6 years to do this call because I've been waiting maybe 6 years or longer to actually start a team, and I finally started. My first team member, she signed the team agreement, came back to our brokerage last week. So yeah, that's up and running. Yeah, we she has I gave her a pre-approved lead, so we have one escrow together and working on the second and third already. So just like you said, it's kind of the right time. We're already the right candidate too, but right timing and yeah, so I think we're on the same channel here, so I'm stoked. Happy to
That's
be here. Thanks for hosting the call.
my pleasure.
Yeah.
Hopefully I'll see you every week if you want to get up early. But congratulations. That's a huge step. So
Yeah, thank
very
you.
excited for you.
Stoked.
Awesome. Thank you. Amy, what you got?
Hi, everybody. I'm here in Central Florida, so Daytona to Orlando. And thank you so much for doing this. I feel like I'm kind of the introvert, extrovert, depends on how I feel the day, this- any particular day. But yeah, I mean, I really been kind of active. I've had more listings in the past few months. They're sitting, but at least I have the listings than I've ever had before at this time. So I'm pretty happy about that. And I think just, trying to do some different things just to try to drum up, more business and more pipeline. I think that that's kind of the idea of what we're doing here. And yeah, I mean, I'm really excited about this to kind of see how I can leverage my introvertedness. So I probably can't stay the whole call, but for a little bit at least.
Awesome. Thank you. Appreciate you. And congrats on the listings. That's what it's all about.
To verify your account with us based on the number.
Somebody is not on mute,
In
so
order to
if
provide
everyone
you
wants
with
to
the
go
best
ahead.
service, please enter your account ID followed by the pound sign.
Let's mute everyone for now. Okay, perfect. Awesome. Thank you for sharing, Amy. Sasha, last one, and then we'll dive into some other content. Oh, did I lose you, Sasha? You had your hand up.
Oh, I wasn't unmuted. Hi. I ordered your book yesterday, and I'm just looking forward to hopefully, one, this call with you talking about the expired process, but also going forward, the calls and the book on helping with moving forward with the introvertedness that exists and how to succeed with it. So my something good is that I ordered your book and waiting for it to be delivered.
Yay, I'm so glad. Thank you. They said they were shipping on the 15th, but a few people who pre-ordered have gotten theirs already. So you might get it early. Who knows? Awesome. Well, thank you all for being here. And I see a few people from other parts of the country, including someone from Grand Rapids. That's actually where my parents live in Michigan. But anyway, let's get into it. So just a quick minute on The Gap and the Gain. Has everyone heard of this? This is another book, and I should have looked up the author. I apologize. I forget who wrote it. If anyone knows, they can put it in the chat for us. But The Gap and the Gain is this amazing book centered around a concept that's really important. And this came to my mind yesterday. I was in the office, and someone came in and he had missed the big awards ceremony that we had a few days ago. So we were giving him his award. And he's like, the only thing I see on this award is the number 10. He was number 10 in a certain category, and then number 1 in a couple other categories. And he's like, the only thing I see on this is that 10. Man, I gotta get up and move that needle forward. And it's making me crazy that I'm not number 1 in all the categories. And I was like, okay, have you heard of this concept called the gap and the gain? And the concept is, yes, it's good to stay motivated, and there is something to be said for always wanting to do better. That's great. Dan Sullivan, that's the one. Thank you. Dan Sullivan. So check out that book as well. But the concept is, rather than focusing on the gap between where you are now and where you want to be, focus instead, at least some of the time, on the gain, which is where you started versus where you are now. So it's really, I think there's room in business for both. And that gain portion is usually left behind. So it's important to take time. I would encourage everyone on this call to take some time over the next couple days and make a list of all your gains, either for the year, like year to date, what did you accomplish in the first quarter, or for last year, or for even your entire career. That can be a pretty cool exercise as well, to write down from like brand new baby agent day 1 to what you've accomplished now. That's probably a lot of really cool stuff that you can feel proud of. So that is my quick spiel. Go read the book, make your list. All right, so let's get into expired letters. I got into real estate almost 12 years ago. September will be 12 years. And that was back in 2013. And the first thing I was told to do is called expireds. I was told to pay for Red-X and call this list of people whose homes didn't sell. And assuming the phone number was correct, they were not always thrilled to hear from me, because I was interrupting their day. Sometimes they were polite, and that was fine. And sometimes I was even successful setting an appointment. But usually it didn't work super well for me. It was not really aligned with the kind of business that I like to do, and it wasn't really aligned with my personality either. And frankly, just wasn't good at it, and I didn't enjoy it. I hated it, actually, making those calls. Absolutely hated it. Like, dial and then, please don't answer, please don't answer, please. So fast forward, I've done a lot of things in between, a lot of training. I was actually a full-time coach in real estate for a couple of years. Now I'm back on the sales side of things. And in addition to still doing some coaching and teaching classes. And in December, I started writing letters, sending out letters to expireds. And the concept behind it is, it's an incoming phone call versus an outgoing phone call. So here's what it looks like. I did the math. I ran the metrics. So far, since only December, so I don't have a huge sample size, but this is what I've found. I've sent out 605 letters. I keep them all in an Excel spreadsheet so I can keep track of when they expired, the address, the owner's name, and the date that I sent the letter out. So I'm sending these primarily to brand new expireds, and I'm not doing it every single day. I'm not consistent enough for that in my schedule. But about once a week, I'll go through from the past week and catch up. I think that actually works a little better for me because there are a lot of expireds and canceleds that will relist either the same day or the next day. And so that saves me a lot of time and money because mailing letters cost money. And so that way I'm not like hitting up all those people who are just going to relist with the same agent anyway. So 605 letters in these past few months. So far, I've received 2 incoming phone calls from sellers. I've set appointments with both of them, and one of them resulted in a signed listing that is closing in 2 weeks. So the conversion rates are okay. The lesson is I need to keep sending letters. We don't have a ton of expireds and canceleds in my market. I'm in the greater Boston area, and we have a serious inventory shortage still. So there aren't as many expireds and cancels to choose from, but I am sending one to all the new ones. And so far it's been worth it because when this closes, it'll be a decent commission and it more than pays for all of the postage and mailing supplies. Give me 1 second. I'll show you kind of what it looks like when it's in the envelope. This is when I ran out of stamps yesterday, so I have to go to the post office and get more. So colored envelope, doesn't matter the color. This is not my brand color or anything. They were the cheapest on Amazon. So to keep my costs down, I went for spring green. Return address label, handwritten address, and the letter inside is printed, it's typed. The only thing I do by hand is I hand sign each one, so they're not customized. It's a form letter. And essentially what it says is, I saw that your property was on the market and now it's not. You might be thinking about just not selling at all. You might have changed your mind. But in case you're still curious about selling or wanting to sell, then here's how I can help. And then I bullet point a couple different ways that I can help. So yeah, let me see if I can pull it up right now and I can just do a little screen share here with you guys so you can see what it looks like. While I pull this up, does anyone have any questions so far? Oh, and then I have testimonials on the back. So it's a 2-pager, front and back. I include my photo and of course, always a call to action as well. So anyone have questions about this?
Can you share your letter so we can take a look at that or?
Yep, I'm pulling it up right now.
Oh, okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Just need to figure out the screen share thing here. Okay. All
I
right.
have a question.
Yes.
When you say you track the name, address, and date of what you mail out, so do you send follow-ups like a second and a third to the same homeowner? And if you do you change the wording?
I haven't yet. It hasn't been quite enough time. I might do that in the future. I might try again after maybe 6 months or so and experiment with that. That would take another round of double checking MLS and making sure they didn't actually relist or sell with somebody else. Yeah, so that is a model to follow. Can everyone see this? Can you see my Canvas screen here? So this is kind of what it looks like. And, change up the format and the wording to suit your business. As long as you guys aren't sending these in the Boston area or, Central Mass, I'm good. You can steal this verbatim, I don't care. So that's the front page. And then the second page says a few of my happy customers. Obviously they're printed in color, double-sided. And these are some testimonials specific to listings. Make sure your testimonials, if you're going to use this model, make sure they're listing testimonials because it won't be super relevant to be like, they helped me buy my first house. Like, great, we're talking to sellers. So that's kind of what it looks like. Yeah, I see a couple questions in the chat, so let me just address those real quick here. What did I do differently than the last seller's agent? So for this one that is closing in a couple weeks, the last agent did a good job. There were some things they could have done a little better around the inspection and handling that. But the timing, I mean, that one, they listed in the fall and we got to list in the spring. And so we're getting the seller a lot more money just because of that. So that's not always the case. A lot of times there is opportunity to do a better job than the last agent, especially if you're specifically looking for expires and cancels that maybe don't have great photos or great staging, then you can really go in there and say, listen, here's how I can market this in a better way. Just be very careful to not say anything negative about their last agent. Just focus on you and your process and what you do. Keep sending follow-up letters. Yeah, good. Everything you send, I would track. And I know that's a pain, and that's something you can have your TC or your admin do. If you don't have seller testimonials, you can put other things on the back or not have a back. I like to have a back page just because when you fold it, then there's something there and so they can open it and it looks a little bit more fleshed out. But you could put past solds. Like you can use any metrics that you or your office have. If you're newer to the business, you can use your office stats and say, we get our sellers X amount more money than the town's average, or we sell in X amount more, faster. So, logistics question. I do not include a business card. I put all my contact info on the letter itself with a call to action. Call or text me here or email me here and we'll schedule a conversation. The return address label is my brokerage, yes. And I think you could put your home address if you want people to have that. It also kind of depends where you want them to see you. So in Boston, there's a lot of like snobbery around certain towns. And my office address is in like a more snobby town than the address where I live, if that makes sense. So I'm going to use that because people in that town will care. And they'll be, if they found out where I live, they would be like, you can't sell here. Well, actually I can, but I don't want you to dismiss me just because of my return address label. Good questions, guys. This is awesome. What else? Do you think sending a letter, they'd be more receptive to a phone call? I do. Yeah, I do think that sending a letter first and then following up with a phone call could work very well. And that way you can just say, hey, I sent you a letter a week or two ago. I want to make sure you got it and see if you have any questions. Sourcing the phone numbers, that is a tricky thing. And also making sure that you're staying out of do not call list, fines, and jail. Like we don't want to go to real estate jail. So that's part of the reason, quite frankly, why I don't call at all, because I'm worried about getting fined and I don't want to have to source the phone numbers. You can pay, the easiest way to find a phone number is to pay for it. You pay a service, they give you a list. Some are better than others. Mojo is a pretty common one, and Redx is still around too. Redx doesn't have the best data though. Vulcan 7, yes, that's the other one. Thank you, Dave. Yeah, so there are definitely ways to get phone numbers. You just have to have the budget for it and the guts to make those phone calls. But it is easier if you already sent them something and then it's like a reason to call. Great questions. I'm also not saying that my way is the best way. My way is one way. And if you're looking for a different lead gen strategy, it might be worth trying. If everything you're doing though is working amazing and you're getting all the listings that you need, then don't add on something new just for the sake of, because Ashley said so. All right, we have a couple more minutes. Does anyone have any other thoughts or questions around this topic? Same letter to high-end homes. Yep, same letter to everybody. Yes, Amy, what you got?
So I did something similar to you where I just used ChatGPT, honestly, and I put out an expired letter. I did get one, I do have a listing from it. And my thing is that if I mean, we have 183 some odd expireds in our area. I took the whole list from the MLS, I downloaded it into ChatGPT, and I said, you know, based upon data, of people moving, um, who do you think is going to move in the next 30, 60, 90 days, whatever it was, and it spit out like 40 people. So if you have a lot of people on your list, it might be an option for you to do it that way. I sent out those letters, and I'm going to send out the same letter again to them probably this week, today or tomorrow, just to kind of, reinvigorate potentially that conversation. And it's literally just the same letter. So, but honestly, like I've been using ChatGPT like it's my BFF, and it's fantastic.
That's awesome. I love that. Thank you for sharing. Couple other questions. How often am I sending a letter? So far, just once to every new expired in my market. I have an MLS search. We call it a hot sheet. It's set up about a 20-mile radius around my office. And every new one, as long as it's, here's what I look for. So I look for, obviously, that it's not relisted. Even as a rental, because if it's listed as a rental, I still don't want to step on toes or cross a yard sign. So I don't touch those. I don't send a letter to anyone that says in the description, because they do have to disclose in Massachusetts, they have to disclose if the agent is related to the seller or if they have an interest. So if the seller is the agent or if it's like their family member, they're not getting a letter because chances are they're not going to list with somebody else. So save myself some stamps doing that. Like I said, I might send a second round at some point. I haven't experimented with that yet. Do I add in something about my opinion on why the house didn't sell? I do not. And that's more just to save time and make this scalable. I'm not customizing this letter at all. Everyone gets the same letter, and that way I can just bang them out. Usually it's price. We know this. But I also don't want to scare them off, because if we say the real reason, hey, your price too high, they're going to be like, well, screw you. If I wanted to give the house away, sellers say that. If I want to give the house away, I could do that on my own. And then you're dealing with a for sale by owner, and that's not good. Every week, yeah, I try to bang out as many as I can a couple days a week, but at least once a week I'll go in and batch, and there's always more at the first of the month. So just to make my life easier, I'd rather do like yesterday I did 30, and that was catching myself up from the previous week. So it's not a lot. There's really not a lot. Yes. So thank you. The good transition. So this call, we're going to have different topics every week. I already lined up a guest speaker who's going to talk about geographic farming around a charitable component. His name is Ryan Smith. He will be here on, I want to say next week. Hang on. Stand by. We were just talking about this last night. Yes, next week. So put this in your calendar. It'll be the same Zoom link every week until we start book club. Then it's going to be a different Zoom link. And that's only because people have been pre-registering for book club. Can I send an invite so I have the calendar with the link? Maybe. If I can figure out how to do that, yes. Maybe we can talk offline about how to actually do that, but put this in your calendar every week for a half hour. Yep, same Zoom link. So save this Zoom link and I'll post reminders in the group. Thank you all for being here. Quick plug, we also have the Quiet Success Club, which is more group coaching, and that meets every week as well on Thursdays at 4 for a full hour. And that's an opportunity to really go more in depth with each individual person's questions and situations and more of a brainstorm. So again, thank you for being here. Tell your friends, share the group with them. The goal is to reach as many of us introverted agents as possible, and there are a lot of us. There are a lot of us. Yes, let me put that link in the chat as well. I didn't have it pulled up here, but I can pull it up. Okay, awesome. Here's the link if you want to check out the club, or just go to my website, moveoverextroverts.com. And yeah, I will see you guys next week. Thank you so much. Oh, also, if your office needs a class, I can come teach, either via Zoom or in person. All right, thank you guys. I'll see you later. And let's pause this recording.